On the heels of losing the Tyreek Hill trade, should we be down on our GM Joe Douglas? Well, hey Jets fans, this is GreenBean. Welcome back to another video. And it's been a crazy week for us, haven't it? We're going to get into why I think this view of Joe Douglas that we have in this immediate time frame might not be accurate. But before I do, I want to remind you to like this video. It's a little thumbs up button on the bottom there. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And if you want to really have a good time, hit that rectangular red candy looking button that says subscribe. And if you want to be reminded whenever I release any content or go live, to hit that bell notification and YouTube will let you know, hey, GreenBean's doing something. Jump on in there. And that would take care of all that. And it is greatly appreciated. If you'd like some exclusive private content, my link to the Patreon is right in the top of the description of this video. It helps the channel and you get all kinds of access and extra content and early releases and all kinds of fun stuff. And that would be greatly appreciated. Join the beanbaggers and get involved. But guys, what is going on out there? It has been crazy. It's been a crazy off season. The last couple weeks primarily have been quite a bit of a whirlwind for us. But yesterday, this week, we woke up to what seemed like it could be a miracle. A miracle! Can the Jets really be this close to nabbing one of the league's best wide receivers, one of the most electric skill position players in the entire NFL? Is it possible? Well, it seems like it was. Now, let's talk about this. A lot of Jets fans are really upset. Now, some are just very disappointed. They got excited. Oh, my God, it's down to the Jets and Dolphins. And they're just disappointed. Other ones are trying to paint a picture that we somehow failed. As far as the Tyreek Hill trade is concerned, the Jets did everything that they could. Now, people are saying that if the Jets offered more, let's say we offered 4 and 10, that the Kansas City Chiefs would not have been able to deny it. They would have made Tyreek Hill go to the Jets. This is off base, and I'm going to tell you why. The Chiefs didn't just decide to trade Tyreek Hill. They allowed him to seek a trade. Now, that's a big, big difference. The way it looks is that the Chiefs were providing him a courtesy. It's not that he had a no-trade clause, but two things really come into play here. One is the Chiefs recognize that this guy has been a pivotal part of everything they've accomplished over the last couple of years. They couldn't work out a deal. They're ready to move on, and they said, hey, pick the place you want to go. If we can, arrange a trade with them, you can go there. Okay. The other thing is he wasn't going to go anywhere that the team didn't rework his contract with him either. So he wasn't going to go somewhere that the Chiefs just sent him to. That wasn't going to happen, right? So the Chiefs provided him this courtesy out of respect. It's a solid. Now, you're seeing this more and more over the past couple of years. Teams giving the players opportunities to seek their own trade. Now, they're going to arrange the capital. If the draft capital or compensation isn't enough, then it can't happen. But they'll say, hey, you tell us where you want to go. We'll see if we can arrange a trade. And if it's good, it's good. The Jets had an offer that the Chiefs accepted. We now know it was 35, 38, and 69, which is actually more draft chart-wise than what the Miami Dolphins offered, although the Miami Dolphins gave up 5 picks, including a first-round pick. So both offers were fine with the Chiefs. Now, if we went in there and said, hey, we're going to give you number 10, number 35, number 38, number 69, number 112, it wouldn't have mattered. The Chiefs still couldn't have said, hey, we want you to go there because it was his choice. Now, they could have done a whole contentious thing and just not given him that choice. Of course they could have. Technically speaking, he's under contract. But that's not the route they chose. So it didn't matter what we offered. He still had the choice between the two teams. The money was equal. The compensation was almost equal. And he chose Miami. Who can blame him? where we are right now. Not only is it sunny, fun Miami, okay, but he has a home down there, I'm being told, which is one piece, right? That's a piece. But in addition to that, guys, the Miami Dolphins have won 10-9 games over the past 2 years. The Jets have won 6. Technically speaking, we look like a bit more of a shit show over the past 10 years than the Miami Dolphins, even though they just had that big implosion with the Brian Flores stuff, and there was accusations one way or the other. All that stuff aside, the truth is that the infrastructure of the team is a little bit ahead of where we are. That's the truth of it. Now, you can argue Tua versus Zach Wilson, all that. You can go layers into this thing. But Tyreek Hill chose Miami. That's what it boils down to. Then you have the tax thing, right? So whatever the reasons are, he chose Miami. He was given the opportunity, and that's that. The Jets offered the Jets money. Everything was right there. If we steamrolled them with 10 firsts, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, guys. But a lot of people's, they have a bad taste in their mouth about Joe Douglas. It doesn't matter what we do. We're always a bridesmaid, never a bride. I want to go into a few items just to paint clearly what's going on with this guy. Now, we're not going to look at every single trade he's ever done, and some of this stuff you're going to know, but we're going to paint it in this picture. We're going to present factual information only. That's it. Now let's compare his big trade with a comp. All right. Now we have the Jamal Adams trade. We all know the Jamal Adams trade. People say, why are we still talking about Jamal Adams? But the truth is we haven't used the compensation yet. We still have the 10th overall pick for the Jamal Adams trade. So we still don't even know what we got in the trade. So it's still viable that we talk about it. Right. But number two, it's a good place to start looking to see how good of a job Joe Douglas is doing in this department. The Jets received a 2021 first and third, a 2022 first, and safety Bradley McDougald. The Seahawks received Jamal Adams and a 2021 fourth round pick. Okay, nice and easy. Now, what's a good comp for that? We like to say the Kalil Mack trade. Now, why is it a good comp? Because he was perceived as probably the best defensive player in the NFL when the trade to the Bears was made from the from the Raiders, right? So the Raiders gave the Bears Kalil Mack and a second round pick. The Bears gave the Raiders 2 first round picks, a third round pick, and a 6th round pick. So 2 firsts, that's comparable. And then the Raiders, so this would be the Jets in the Jamal Adams trade. Instead of giving a 4th, we had to give a 2nd round pick. And then they got a 3rd and a 6th. So those trades are really comparable. Now, what did the players look like? What was their value? Now, Kalil Mack at that point had been a 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All-Pro. Jamal Adams at that time had been a 2-time Pro Bowler, a 1-time first team All-Pro, and then he was an All-Pro alternate, second team All-Pro, we call it, right? When you look at it, Kalil Mack had significantly more momentum going into that trade to warrant a larger capital, but he didn't get that. Joe Douglas was able to receive more or equal value for a guy who had 0 picks up to that point from a starting NFL quarterback. He did have 2 interceptions, 1 each year from backup guys, Castle and whoever else, Mack, Castle, and Stidham. So Jamal Adams was able to get 2 interceptions in garbage time, but Kalil Mack was an absolute force, and that's all they could get for him. We got pretty much the same value for Jamal Adams. Now, you look this year, there are some really interesting trades. Now, when we look at quarterbacks, let's take the Sam Darnold trade and compare it to Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz. So Matt Ryan went to the Colts from the Falcons. Matt Ryan has been in the league for 14 years. He's had over 4,000 yards 10 straight times. Last year, he had 3,986 yards. So that's essentially another 4,000 yard season. So that would be 11 straight years of 4,000 yards. He also had 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in 2021. He's been a 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, and a 1-time he was the offensive league MVP. Okay, he's obviously already been to the Super Bowl, and he was the 2008 Offensive Rookie of the Year. They got 1 third-round pick for him. That's all it took, was a third-round pick. Conversely, let's look at Carson Wentz first. Now, Carson Wentz, he was just traded to the Washington Commanders. He's a 6-year vet. In 2021, he had 3,563 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. That is a pretty damn good year. Better than a Jets quarterback has had in a very long time. I think we've had one in the past 20 years that came anywhere near that. So what the Colts got in the Carson Wentz trade was they swapped for second-round picks. So they gave up pick 47 and they received pick 42. That's a 5-spot jump. So they got a 5-spot jump in the second round, not a second-round pick. So then they got a third and a conditional third. So if Carson Wentz doesn't meet certain parameters, they won't get the other third. Now, interestingly, Sam Darnold was the 32nd ranked starter in the NFL in 2020. He has had one 3,000-yard season. That was in 2019. In 2020, he had 9 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. As a matter of fact, that was 2 years in a row that he had less touchdowns than he did interceptions. He's never been to the Pro Bowl. He was not Offensive Rookie of the Year or anything like that. And he was a 3-year vet in the league. Joe Douglas got a 2nd-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and a 6th-round pick for him. So he got more for Sam Darnold than the Colts got for Carson Wentz and the Falcons got for Matt Ryan. Both of those quarterbacks are significantly better than Sam Darnold was going into that trade. It's really quite amazing. I don't think that we focus on just how impactful that trade really is. And we still get to use the 2nd and the 4th. We used the 6th last year. So we have that 2nd and 4th round pick going into the 2022 draft. And Sam Darnold had a complete implosion last year. And the Panthers are already looking for another quarterback. And they don't have 3 picks that they could have used to maybe trade for Watson or whatever they're trying to do, pick a quarterback. They're hurting because of that trade, and the Jets are sitting pretty. Now, an interesting one is this year. Let's take a look at 2 other trades because they're comparable in compensation. Now, Amari Cooper, we know he has a $20 million contract, and that's kind of the bugaboo, right? $20 million, but wide receivers are getting $20 million, and Amari Cooper is an undeniable number 1 wide receiver, right? Amari Cooper has been in the Pro Bowl 5 times, 4 1,000-yard seasons. In 2021, he had 865 yards and 8 touchdowns. All Dallas got for him was a 5th-round pick, and they swapped 6th-round picks. So they went from 202 to 193. So they picked up 9 spots in the 6th round. So they got a 5th and 9 spots in the 6th round. Another one is Robert Woods. Robert Woods is a 9-year vet. Now, he's coming off an ACL tear, and he has $13.5 million contract, but he's had 1,000 or just under 1,000 yards 3 times in his career, 3 straight years going into 2021. Last year, he had that ACL tear. He only played 9 games, but he still had 556 yards and 4 touchdowns. All the Titans got for him was all the Titans paid for him is a 2023 6th-round pick. Joe Douglas went out and took this linebacker, Blake Cashman, affectionately named Break Glassman. Why? Because he's played a total of 14 games in his entire 3-year NFL career, 7 of which were his rookie year. He's only played 7 games in the last 2 years. He's had 3 season-ending injuries in the NFL, and he had 2 season-ending injuries in college. He has a combined total of 49 tackles and 1/2 sack in 3 years of NFL play. Joe Douglas went and got the exact same compensation for Blake Cashman that the Rams got for Robert Woods, and right in the same ballpark as what the Dallas Cowboys got for Amari Cooper. So how is Joe Douglas doing this? When you look at the trade for Tyreek Hill, we didn't even give up a first. Now, the 35th and 38, you hear us talk about it all the time. Essentially, those are first-round picks. Not really. but they are. They're the spillover. They're the catch net of the first round. Anybody who slides through, the guys in the first 5 or 6 picks, they're going to scoop them up. They're going to get those first round rated guys. So they are valuable picks, but we didn't have to give up 4 or 10. Again, if we offered them, it doesn't change a thing, but the Kansas City Chiefs accepted a trade without either one of those. And I thought for sure we were going to be offering 10. Joe Douglas knows what he's doing. When there is a trade to be had, he has not lost a trade yet. I still don't even understand how he got a pick for Blake Cashman. Probably had something to do with something else that somebody he owed him or something in the past. Maybe they bought him dinner. I have no idea, but it's pretty much that Joe Douglas is nothing short of a wizard. I know people are still struggling believing this, guys, but the guy knows what he's doing, okay? The guy knows what he's doing. I don't look at the Tyreek Hill trade as a negative. I look at it as, hey, it's going to take some time for us to change the perception up here in the New York Jets. I think that's happening with Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas. It's definitely happening, but it's not there yet. And it's going to take some time, and it's going to take a winning season or two before guys go, you know what? I'm going to go over there and continue my career that way, or end my career that way, or take the prime of my career and go over there. We got to see Zach Wilson actually become an NFL quarterback, and then that'll start happening. So guys, what do you think? Are you with me? Joe Douglas is a wizard. He's Gandalf. He's Mithrandir, if you know what I'm talking about. He's Gandalf. He knows what he's doing. He pulls moves out that nobody else could do, in my opinion. He gets value for guys significantly higher than their worth, and it's pretty damn amazing. Here's a bonus trade. Last year, as you all know, we needed a right guard to replace Greg Van Roten. He gave a tight end, Daniel Brown, to the Chiefs. We got LTD or LDT, a starting caliber guard, and they cut Daniel Brown and we got him back. So essentially, within 3 weeks, he basically told the Chiefs, hey, I'd like a starting guard for free. And they said, yes, sure thing, Joe Douglas. So there you go. And the list goes on, guys. There are other trades, getting 2 players for 1 6th-round pick, all kinds of stuff, getting picks back that he traded for earlier. The guy's a wizard. So let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you think I'm full of baloney. I can't wait to hear your comments in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Go Jets!